So where do you go to get the best financial advice? Tune in right now because I'm going to give you something you may not expect. All right, so you're probably wondering, where do I go to find the best financial advice? What are the best sources? Do I go to Google? Do I go to Financial Advisor? Do I go to God? Where do I find this advice, right? How do I find it? That's what I'm going to dig into this video. And I'm telling you, the advice I'm going to give you right now, well, you're going to find the difference between advice and counsel, and they're two different things. So hang in there because I'm going to explain what that really means here in this video. All right, so like I said, when it comes to financial advice, where do you go to find it, right? I mean, because you could go Google stuff, and the truth is there's so much information out there today, right? And isn't that the problem? You go and Google something, and yes, you'll get some of the same old vanilla advice. I mean, AI especially. AI is the worst. Like ChatGPT, you try to get financial advice from that, and they'll give you the most vanilla advice that you could just find on your own freaking search. But there are some other advice that you'd like to give too. I will tell you this. This is one of my big key points. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Most financial advice is crap, okay? Whatever the mainstream does, I would do the opposite. This is one reason why I'm called the anti-financial advisor, right? Because I used to be a financial advisor. I was the one giving the vanilla advice. I was the one telling you to save all your money, pay off your debt and pay it off early, right? Save it in the stock market and in mutual funds and whatnot, and be diversified. And then you're gonna save it for the long haul. Even if the market goes down, you just stay in for a little bit longer of a haul. And then you're gonna take high risks to create high returns. And you're gonna do all these things that are just a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of crap. It's not true. By the way, high risk, the definition of risk is chance of loss. How does a higher chance of losing equal a higher chance of winning? You ever thought about questioning that? And that's the thing, you should question every advice. Take everything with a grain of salt. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. And I already know there's a few of you trolls that are already doing it. In fact, you probably haven't even watched this whole video and you're already ripping on me, saying stuff that I didn't even say yet, right? Because you guys are fortune tellers, right? Okay, that's enough about you trolls. But here's the thing, guys, it's so true, is that most financial advice is always the same stuff. So this is the question you really have to ask yourself. Are most Americans financially free? Are most people saving their 401ks and IRAs, are they financially free? The answer has been for decades the same. It's no, they're not. They're still scrambling. People have been sacrificing and saving and delaying their life, procrastinating it forever in hopes that someday they'll have something. But yet, what do we have? We have a bunch of people say, I better have Social Security. So if they don't have something, they go to Social Security, don't they? And they're like, oh, at least that can help me live on a nice, meager, fixed income budget, right? Is that the kind of life you're dreaming for yourself? But that's the advice that's out there today, right? Most of the advice is vanilla. If you hear the masses saying it, it probably hasn't worked. Because if the masses are broke, don't follow them. Here's my best advice I can give you. And this is what I told you at the beginning of this video. The best advice I can give you is that focus on advice of people that have been there, done that, and still doing it today. Now, I add that third one in for a very specific reason. Now, I think it's very valuable for somebody who's been there and done that, right? Like I talk to people all the time. I tell you on this channel all the time that I've been able to retire twice by the time I was 40 years old. Now, why was it twice? It's because I screwed up the first time, okay? It should have only been once, but I did mess up because in the Great Recession, I was over leveraged. I actually didn't, I really was just overly confident. I was a cocky little 29-year-old kid, really, that was, thought I was the best guy ever because I was able to retire when I was 28 years old. But the truth is that pride was my downfall, right? The higher the climb, the higher the fall right there as a result. So I learned a lot. I gained a lot of wisdom and was able to take that with me to the next time. So I was able by 2016 retire for the second time, where I have enough passive income coming in that I work because I want to, not because I have to. We call that work optional. That's what most of the people that here, many of you guys watching this channel right now, is wanting. Is that you want to get to the point you're work optional. You want to work because you want to. You want to say, hey, I can go to work, but I don't have to make the paycheck. I don't worry about making money every day. I'm here because I want to be here, because maybe I love my job. Maybe I love what I do. Maybe I just want to feel like I have purpose in life, right? Maybe I feel like I'm helping people. Awesome. Do that. That's why we're here. Heck, that's why we call it money ripples, is because as you create more money in your life, you create more wealth, you have a better ability to create a ripple effect through the lives of others, right? You can serve them better because you're not worrying about taking care of yourself so much. That's the key. So when it comes to advice that way, yeah, it's not just been there, done that, but guys, I'm still doing it today. That's the key thing. You don't want to listen to people's advice that maybe is no longer relevant. Because if they've been there and done that, but that was back in the 1990s and they're still talking about they're almost like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, right? He's talking about, back in high school, I could throw a football over the mountains, right? Like if coach would put me in the fourth quarter, we'd been gone to state, It's not like that, guys. Like you don't want the person that just talks about the glory days, but was never able to really replicate it. I'll tell you, the one thing that got me through hard times in the last great recession we had in 2008 and 2009, what got me through it was looking into the future saying, you know what, wouldn't it be cool if I could actually follow my advice again a second time and prove I didn't just get lucky, but that it actually really works. The advice actually works. And so that was the only thing that kept me from really being completely depressed, like at the depths of despair, right? The pit of despair, for you Princess Bride fans, right? I wasn't in the pit of despair because I knew I have hope that if I could do it again, then I proved that this could actually work. And even better than just working for myself, what if I get it to work for other people too? And so that's where I started to help other clients do the same thing. And guess what? We've proven it again and again and again and again. Some people are able to do it within a year or two. Some people it takes 10 to 15 years, right? Whatever the time frame, it doesn't matter. It actually works. So when you're looking for advice, and it doesn't matter what advice you look for, beyond financial advice, go for somebody who's been there, done that, and still doing it today. Because you want somebody who can actually speak from real life experience, real wisdom, not theory, not stuff like, I had a friend that was saying like, yeah, throw your money in the stock market and the S&P 500. Even though he makes all of his money in business, he's telling you throw your money over there to keep it safe, and make more money from compounding interest. Like, no, you won't. What if the market tanks? What if all those people that followed his advice, because he's not a financial expert, he's a business expert, but because he gives financial advice, he tells them to go do that stuff, and then they all lose money. Guess how accountable he is? Not at all. You are the only one that loses money because you follow his crappy advice, right? That's the problem. And by the way, I'm the guy, just so you know, I actually loved the stock market. In the 2000s, I was a financial advisor, I was a stock coach, I was even a stock trader myself. And I traded stocks and options. I drank that Kool-Aid so much, man, I was full. I was diabetic on the Kool-Aid I was drinking from all the freaking stock stuff I was doing and recommending. However, guys, from real life experience, I learned it's not all it's cracked up to be. And I've also learned from watching other people's time in the stock market, it didn't work. By the way, here's how you know it doesn't work. Here's how you know you actually, maybe you found something good, right? And this is what I found for myself, is that I had somebody reach out to me that owned a options, like a stock trading type company, like an options training company. So they were training people how to trade stocks and options. And the guy reached out to me because he says, Chris, I want to learn how to create passive income because I don't know how to do it. Guys, if you're looking for passive income, look for people that actually are doing it, not for the people that sell it and tell you about it on stage, but then can't do it themselves. That is the kind of advice you want to be aware of. So yes, you can go Google stuff, and that's wonderful. And there's so much information, you can never tell what's real or what's not. You have to discern what's right for you based on what do these people actually do? Where are they making their money? Even guys like Dave Ramsey, he gives all this financial advice, but he has no accountability to it. He's had people that literally have put posts saying, I've followed you since I was 18 and I lost all my money as a result of it. Now what should I do? She still went back to him for more advice after she followed his advice and went broke, right, guys? That's the thing. It's like he'll give advice all the time, but he has no accountability. If you lose money, it's not his fault, it's yours now. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. And the fact remains with him is that the advice he's given was the advice I was given, and it didn't work for people. And still, yet he teaches it. If you want to do budgeting and all that kind of stuff, great, awesome, follow his advice. When it comes to creating wealth, I would recommend do what he did. And you know what he did? First and foremost, he built a business that's worth tens of millions of dollars now. And then secondly, guys, he bought a lot of real estate. Arguably, although he says he's worth 600 or 700 million, that's not true. He has more about a net worth of $200 million. Most of it's in real estate. But what does he tell you to invest in? Stocks, mutual funds, the thing that he barely has any money himself in. He's just doing a little bit in there, but that's money he can gamble away and lose it, and it doesn't even affect his lifestyle. But he's telling you to put all your money in those things and hope that you're going to become financially free. That's bad advice. That's bad advice in my opinion. So again, how do you find it? It's hard. But I know that if you're looking for passive income advice, I recommend two things. One is find our other YouTube channel, the Money Ripples podcast channel. I mean, this channel is great. Subscribe to this video because if you haven't done so, there's lots of information here too. But we also have a podcast channel as well called the Money Ripples podcast channel. In addition to that, also go to moneyripples.com because if you have money, you're saying, what do I do with this money? How do I make it work for me? So I have to work so hard for it. Go to moneyripples.com. There's a passive income calculator that you can actually take today to find out how much passive income is actually possible, not in the next 30 or 40 years, but in the next 12 months. Go and do that right now.